In this installment, we have the NBA bet slate for Thursday, February 20th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our Thursday NBA betting slate we got going on. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 9.27 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now we are finally back into the flow of things. This is the second half of the season, and we're going to go crazy. So I highly encourage you guys to sign up for the Patreon right now. That's in the link provided down below. And I told you guys in that previous video, if you want to know the March Madness Finals and the NBA Finals, I already put out the futures for both of those. You sign up right now, click that link provided down below, get connected. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes up 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. In Gainbridge Fieldhouse here, we have the Indiana Pacers 30-23 going up against the Memphis Grizzlies 36-18. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Grizzlies as road favorites -145 on the money line, with the comeback of the Pacers at a +118. Point spread set at a 2.5. Total points at 249.5. So that's a really high total in this matchup here. Full game public bet percentage, 65% of the bets, 72% of the money on the side of Memphis. For the point spread, 73% of the bets, 79% of the money on Memphis to cover the 2.5. And for the total points, 55% of the bets, 56% of the money towards the over 249.5. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams starting the second half of the season off, Grizzlies are dealing with Johnny Davis, guard out. Cam Spencer's a game-time decision. And for the Pacers, Isaiah Jackson is out for the year. All right. Looking at these two, they've already played earlier this season. That was a 121-136 game that was in Memphis, and that was a blowout game. Okay. Grizzlies was able to win on the money line, cover the 6.5, and go over the total of 244.5. That's why this total here is set at 249.5. So before the end of the first half, Grizzlies had a decent finish, winning 3 out of their last 5 games, losing to the Clippers. And then the Pacers, they struggled, winning only 2 out of the last 5 games, but they've finished strong against the Washington Wizards, winning by 4 points. All right. But we understand that the type of play and pace that the Pacers run their offense at is the reason why this total is so high at 249. Since this is the second meeting here and Memphis took advantage of their home court advantage, Indiana has the opportunity to definitely fight back here. We have a very close total, and I'm going to be leaning on the side of the home underdog. Okay, so give me the Pacers here with the points. I think they're going to be very competitive in this spot here against the Grizzlies at home, where they played phenomenal basketball this year. If we're going at it, 14-8 at home. Grizzlies, you usually definitely attack them on the road. They are absolutely phenomenal at home. Road, they're a little more vulnerable, and that's where I think that the offense here coming right out of the gate in the second half of the season, the Pacers can be dangerous. All right, so give me the +2.5 on the Pacers, especially with getting their center back here. In that last stretch, in those last 5 games, they were missing their number 1 center, so that was a key factor there. So Pacers +2.5, and for the total, give me the under of 249.5. I think it's a high total. Granted, I think it goes just under this number here. This game could be easily a 115, a 120 game, and that would be under the 249.5. as well. So Pacers plus 2.5, under 249. In Wells Fargo Center here, we have the Philadelphia 76ers 20-34 going up against the Boston Celtics 39-16. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Celtics as road favorites minus 325 on the money line, with the comeback of the 76ers at a plus 260, point spread at a 7.5, total points at 224.5. Public bet percentage here, 89% of the bets, 83% of the money, all on Boston. For the point spread, 65% of the bets, 69% of the money on the Celtics to cover that number. And for the total points, we have 74% of the bets, 79% of the money on the over 224.5. Looking at the injury report here for both of these teams, starting off with the Celtics, Xavier Tillman is out for the 76ers. They do have Embiid back, who finished the first half of the season playing. But for the 76ers, no Eric Gordon, no Kyle Lowry, and no Justin Edwards. Jared McCain obviously is injured, and he's out for the season. All right, so for these two teams, they've already played twice this year. Looking at those two matchups, it was a 118-114 win by the Philadelphia 76ers. In that game, the 76ers were big road underdogs here. They won on the money line, covered the number in the over, win 223.5. In the second matchup, we had the Celtics win, but the 76ers covered the 12.5, and the total went over 224.5 as well. All right, so for this particular matchup, this is the third game that these two teams are facing each other. And if you're looking at the last 5 matchups, 76ers have been absolutely horrible. They're currently on a 5-game losing streak. They lost to Brooklyn, Toronto, Milwaukee, Detroit, and Miami consecutively. Embarrassing performance coming in to end the first half of the season, and now you got to start up and go up against the Boston Celtics. That is a tall task here. Celtics, on the other hand, have been playing phenomenal basketball, blowing out San Antonio, Miami, New York, and a great win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. They did have one hiccup against Dallas, but they are coming into form right now, and this is a bad matchup here. Giving the Celtics on the money line, giving the Celtics to cover the number of 7.5, and for the total, I'm going to go under 224.5. So you might be under, if you understand this right here, this is the first game of the second half of the season. I'm going to be going under on a lot of these matchups as well. All right. Slow legs, just coming back from vacation. That's going to be the trend here in this first set of games here coming out in the second half of the season. So Celtics cover and under 224.5. In State Farm Arena here, we have the Atlanta Hawks 26-29 going up against the Orlando Magic 27-29. Looking at the current odds for this game here, we have the Magic as road favorites minus 118 on the money line, with the comeback of the Hawks at a minus 102. So really close here, almost a pick 'em between the Hawks and the Magic. Point spread at a 1.5, total points at 223.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 63% of the bets on the side of Atlanta, but the sharps here, 64% of the money on the side of Orlando. All right, point spread, that's going to be one-sided there, 70% of the bets, 66% of the money on Atlanta with the plus 1.5. Total points, 75% of the bets, 84% of the money towards the over 223.5. All right, looking at these two here, the injury report. Starting off with the Magic, they're much healthier now, but Jalen Suggs is out and Moritz Wagner is out for the year. For Atlanta, we have a game time decision on Trae Young. Larry Nance is out. Kit Vetri is out. Jalen Johnson's out for the season, and Kobe Buffkin is out for the season as well. All right, so for the Magic, they finished the first half of the season winning 3 out of the last 5 games, and one of those losses came against the Atlanta Hawks. So this is a revenge spot here for Orlando. And for Atlanta, same thing. They won 3 out of the last 5 games as well. With a very competitive game against the New York Knicks, falling short 149-148. That was a high scoring environment in that one. All right, so we have a major question mark on Trae Young. He's the heartbeat of this Atlanta Hawks team, obviously. And this Atlanta Hawks team did make a lot of trades. So they're trying to make up for some of the injuries and some of the guys that they lost. All right. So for the Hawks in the previous matchup, they won on the money line. They were underdogs. They covered that 6.5, and the total went under 221.5. Depending on who's in or out, this line has moved up to 223.5. I'm going to lean towards the under between these two teams, especially with Orlando, how they're much more of a defensive-minded team here. And I'm going to go with the Magic as the road favorites here. Give me the Magic on the money line, get some revenge here, bounce back. And they've played better basketball to finish out that first half. Especially with some tough competition that they face. Atlanta's always a tough team. They beat San Antonio, came up short against Denver, and then handled Sacramento. I like what I've seen out of them in the last couple of games leading to the end of the first half. And we're probably going to see a bounce back of Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. All right, so give me the Magic on the money line and the under on 223.5. In Barclays Center here, we have the Brooklyn Nets 20-34 going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers 44-10. Looking at the current odds for this matchup right here, we have the Cavaliers as road favorites, minus 900 on the money line, with a comeback of the Nets at a plus 600. Point spread at a 12.5, and the total points at 224.5. Public bet percentage here, 89% of the bets, 78% of the money all over Cleveland. For the point spread, 59% of the bets, 65% of the money on Cleveland to cover that number of 12.5. And for the total points, 77% of the bets, 86% of the money towards the over 224.5. Looking at the injury report here for both of these teams, starting off with the Cavaliers, Dean Wade is out, Ty Jerome is a game time decision, Isaac Okoro is a game time decision, and JT Thor is a game time decision. For the Brooklyn Nets, Noah Clowney is out and Cam Thomas is out. All right, so for the last 5 games here for both of these teams, Cavaliers finished strong, winning 4 out of their last 5 games, and so have the Brooklyn Nets. All right, very surprising here. Brooklyn Nets have put on a little bit of a heater here, beating Houston in back-to-back games. They had an embarrassing performance against Washington, but they come back and blow out Miami, blow out Charlotte, and beat Philadelphia, okay, to finish the first half. So this Brooklyn Nets team is their feisty old selves that we seen a couple years ago when they had no talent. It was D'Angelo Russell and a bunch of cast of characters of Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen, and we're getting kind of a same feisty type of Brooklyn Nets team yet again with no stars, okay? So this particular spot here, we've had these teams play already the first 2 times. Cavaliers won the first matchup. Nets covered in the under hit 220. The second time they met up, Cavaliers won on the road. They covered the 10. They covered the 10.5, and the over was 215.5. All right, for this particular matchup, this the third game here, and this second time they're playing in Brooklyn, and they moved the line up to 12.5. All right, so I think this particular spot here, Nets cover this 12.5. I love the way that this Nets team is playing. Obviously, carefree basketball. They're going to bring their A game no matter what, because no one expects much out of them. Give me the Nets with the plus 12.5. I love how they finished the first half of the season. For the total, I'm going to go under 224.5 with this one. The Nets, how they've been playing better basketball is with defense, all right? They're going to slow things down. It's just like how you saw in that first matchup, 100-105. I think things are a slower pace here, and this Nets defense has stepped up definitely. All right, so give me the Nets plus 2.5 and the under of 224.5. Here in Madison Square Garden, we have the New York Knicks 36-18 going up against the Chicago Bulls 22-33. Looking at the odds for this matchup here, Knicks are home favorites minus 900 with the comeback of the Bulls at a plus 600. Point spread at a 12.5. Total points at 243.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, 89% of the bets, 77% of the money on the side of the Knicks. For the point spread, 51% of the bets, 56% of the money towards the Knicks to cover. And for the total points here, 65% of the bets, 64% of the money towards the over 243.5. Very high total between these two teams here. Looking at the injury report, the Knicks are dealing with Josh Hart. He's going to be out. OG Anunoby is going to be a game-time decision. Mitchell Robinson is out. Kevin Mueller is a game-time decision. And Pacomi Dadiak is a game-time decision as well. For the Bulls, Patrick Williams is out. And EJ Liddell is a game-time decision. Looking at these two teams coming into this game, the Bulls have been struggling mightily, losing 4 of their last 5 games, losing back-to-back to Detroit. Just been very embarrassing and losing double digits every single game. All right, this Bulls team is definitely Without Levine, they've lost him. They've lost a ton of guys here. It's Josh Giddey, Vucevic, and a very inconsistent Kobe White. All right, so this team here in the Bulls are dealing with a lot of issues. Knicks finishing strong, winning 4 of their last 5 games, handling Houston, Toronto, a bad loss against Boston, but bounce back against Indiana and Atlanta. And then we got a double revenge narrative here. The Knicks have lost to the Chicago Bulls twice in MSG, and then they lost by 13 points in Chicago. This is their third and final matchup. This is a perfect double revenge narrative here, and we get the Bulls at the right exact time. Give me the Knicks on the money line, Knicks to cover the 12.5, and give me for the total of this one here, I'm going to go under 243.5. The way that this team is playing here, they have struggled to score 110, 92, 111, 108 in the last 4 games. I think they need to score in the 120 range to get this to the over of the 243 point. So give me the under of 243.5. In FISA Forum here, we have the Milwaukee Bucks 29-24 going up against the LA Clippers 31-23. Looking at the odds for this one, tightly contested matchup. Looking at the odds, Bucks are slight favorites at home, -120, with the comeback of Clippers at a +100. Points at a 1.5. And the total points at 225.5. Public bet percentage here, 66% of the bets and 55% of the money on the side of the Clippers. So we have public on Milwaukee and sharps on the side of the Clippers. For the point spread, 53% of the bets, 56% of the money on the side of the Clippers. So we have a public underdog here in this spot for the Clippers. 73% of the bets, 84% of the money on the over 225.5 in this matchup. In that first meeting there, it was 244 points in that first meeting, and that obviously went over the total. We'll show you what that looks like in a few seconds. Injury report: Clippers, Amir Coffey, day-to-day or game-time decision. Drew Eubanks, game-time decision. Kawhi Leonard, game-time decision. And for the Bucks, Andre Jackson, game-time decision. Damian Lillard, game-time decision. And Giannis. So Giannis and Lillard are most likely going to play in this game here. I'm not too worried about them. And then their first matchup, looking at it here, Clippers won at home on the money line, covered the 3.5, and the total went over 226.5. This particular one bumped it down by 1 point here. And the way that both of these teams have finished their first half, both in decent form, all right, winning 3 out of the last 5 games. Clippers were taking advantage of the Utah Jazz, who are a very poor team, obviously. This particular one, I think they got the right team favored here in the Milwaukee Bucks. Plus, we have a public underdog. I usually tend to avoid those situations. So give me the home team in the Milwaukee Bucks here on the money line. For the total, that's going to be the major question here. I'm going to lean towards the over in this particular spot just because of how I know the up-tempo Bucks pace is. It could creep towards the over 225.5. In Moody Center here, we have the San Antonio Spurs 23-29 going up against the Phoenix Suns 26-28. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, I would say you guys should hop on this right now, but I'm going to explain it to you. Suns -140 on the money line with the comeback of the Spurs at a +115. Point spread at a 2.5. In total points at 235.5. Public bet percentage here, we have 64% of the bets on the side of San Antonio, 71% of the money on the side of Phoenix. So public on the Spurs, sharps on Phoenix here for the point spread. 54% of the bets coming in on the Spurs to cover, and 52% of the money coming in on the Suns to cover. Total points, 76% of the bets, 80% of the money coming in on the over 235.5. Looking at the injury report here, for the Phoenix Suns, Cody Martin is out. Grayson Allen is a game-time decision, and Devin Booker is a game-time decision. For the San Antonio Spurs, Charles Bassey is out. Riley Minix is out for the season. And we're just getting news right now. Victor Wembanyama is going to be doubtful for this game here, according to ESPN. It came in through like 2 hours ago. Wemby with an illness. He's going to be doubtful to play the Suns. So that's major news here. And from what I'm seeing, that line really didn't adjust. What are they saying it opened up? It opened up at a 2.5. It opened at 2.5 with the Spurs as favorites. It has flipped to Phoenix. Okay, so that's a 4-point adjustment there, 4.5 point adjustment really on the side of the Spurs here. It's on the side of the Suns. So for this one here, obviously Wemby being out, if you want to get spicy, you can take the Spurs with the plus 2.5. But what I've seen from the Suns, I think that they're going to try to come out with a little bit expired and inspired basketball here with the veterans that they have in Devin Booker and KD. They struggled in the first half, losing to Houston, Memphis, Denver, and OKC. That's a tough stretch of games there. All top tier Western Conference. And then now they go up against the San Antonio Spurs, who they need to beat here. They have fallen outside of the race. They're right behind the Golden State Warriors. Phoenix Suns are 11th. And this is a must-win game here for the Spurs to get this playoff push going, to get in a play-in or get even higher seeding for the Phoenix Suns. So give me the Suns on the money line here, taking advantage of the Spurs with their injury and illness. For the total, give me the under on the 235.5. I think that's a big loss there for the Spurs, losing their anchor in Victor Wembanyama. I'll take the under. I think the Spurs will struggle to score, and I think the Suns will have an easier time putting up points. I don't think they can keep up pace with the Suns and their offense, and this total goes under 235.5. But main play, Suns on the money line. Last but not least here in Moda Center, we have the Portland Trailblazers 23-32 going up against the LA Lakers 32-20. Looking at the current odds, we have the Lakers as road favorites minus 180 on the money line, with the comeback of the Trailblazers at a plus 145, point spread at a 3.5, and total points at 225.5. Public bet percentage here, 88% of the bets, 76% of the money on the side of the Lakers. For the point spread, 81% of the bets, 82% of the money on the Lakers to cover. And for the total points, 69% of the bets, 72% of the money on the over 225.5. For the injury report here for the LA Lakers, Maxi Kleber is out. For the Portland Trailblazers, we have game time decision on Scoot Henderson, game time decision on Robert Williams, game time decision on Jeremy Grant. Matisse Thybulle's out, and DeAndre Ayton is out. So that's going to be a big loss there, losing their number one center in DeAndre Ayton. Yes, Donovan Cleveland is going to be starting, their rookie center, but he is young and inexperienced. And obviously, a veteran team here in the Lakers can definitely take advantage of that one. These two teams have already played, and both games went towards the Lakers. The first game, there was no LeBron, and it was just AD. The Lakers won on the money line, covered the number, and it went under 224.5. The second time they played, this game was with LeBron, but without AD. They won yet again on the money line, covered the number, and it went under 225.5. In that one, this game here, they come back with the same exact total at 225.5. I like the over in this game here. I like we're going to see how dominant and easy it is for this Lakers team to score points. So I love the over of 225.5. Give me, ultimately, I think it's too much talent, and I think they can take advantage of the Trailblazers without DeAndre Ayton. Lakers on the money line. All right, so Lakers on the money line, over on the 225.5. Those are our selections for the Thursday slate. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or if you disagree. We can definitely debate about that down below. Also, don't forget about the Patreon. Sign up right now. You'll see that in the description down below. Click on it. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. It's your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.